Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode 32. It's been a while since I uploaded a Mimic Commentary episode. I did a little bait and switch a few episodes ago with episode Theta. And if you're watching this as part of early access, episode 31 is only available to people who pay a new tier. Generally, my membership is $1. It's the cheapest you can make it on YouTube. But I made a second tier kind of for that video. I don't know if I'll put other videos in there, but it's not necessary for you to understand the Mimic Commentary. But when this series goes live to the public, episode 31 will be released to the public before this episode 32. So if you want to watch that episode, if you haven't watched it yet, if you haven't paid to see it, I just want to give you a spoiler warning. There is a spoiler warning for Jack as a Mimic. If you're watching this when it's live, you already know what the ending is. You know, Mimic Commentary is kind of extra stuff. But where we left off, it's been a while since I played Elden Ring. So we have to get our bearings on this room. This room was guarded by one banished knight. It has what looks like... There's multiple tables here, but they got destroyed. Two long tables, a bunch of chairs here, maps, parchment, books, pieces. Looks like if they were to probably war plans in here, and then there was another table up here with more of that type of what do you call it? Books and parchments on there. Let's look at the chairs. So we see at the bottom of the chair, we see hawk, lion, hawk. And then some flowery ornamentation. Anything lily? Anything kind of looking maybe... I don't know if anything looks like lilies. Then we have on the walls here... This is important. Okay, we're trying to look at the kind of the symbolism that's going on here. We've already established that this is a very, this is dragon-centric, sun realm, hawk-centric, and beast as well. What's interesting about these chairs is that we are seeing kind of like a floral motif. We're seeing 3 instances of hawks and then 1 of a lion. Then here we have this relief of the tree, most likely the Erd tree, maybe the great tree, but it's secondary onto the wall. It's coming out of the wall. It's not built into the wall, so this could be done after. The thing that's interesting in these chairs is that there's no tree symbolism in the chair, but you have lions and hawks, which, leads me to believe when we think about the golden lineage becoming... When we think of, we have the Beast Crest Heater Shield, which is this? No, it's this one that we're looking for. The Golden Beast Crest Shield. Shield of dull gold, beast engraved crest. The beast depicts Sarash. He's the counselor, the aged counselor of the Golden Lineage. That beast. I don't think we see him anywhere in here, but because this is mostly a Stormhawk related area, but it still has some of that lion motif in here. So we're seeing a connection between the lions and the birds. The tree is secondary though. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we look at the tree and beast surcoat, tree and beast and tree. Okay, these are 2 separate things coming together. And it's very important that we recognize. There's also the banners. Banners can be added extra. Now we have books in here, very well learned. This is a design that we see all the time. Oh, actually, is that a beast head in there? I've never noticed that. That kind of looks like a wolf or something at the top here. Oh, I never noticed. Yeah, that's kind of like a snarling beast amongst the flowers. Maybe an indication of the crucible. I don't know. Yeah, kind of. Is it flower? Yeah, it's like a beast turning into flowers. We have, what's this painting here? This painting was painted before the Stormhawks were kind of enslaved, I guess, by Godrick's people, like their feet cut off. It's not happening, but Stormveil is built. We've seen paintings of the castles that don't have Stormveil. And then over here we have a painting of Banished Knight. So this is, firmly with an ancient dragon on its head. So firmly, this is a, Banished Knight, Sun Realm, mostly Hawk related, mostly Stormhawk related, mostly the Storm. And since it's birds, we think dragons. But there is some beast here. The beast is on the chair. Kind of, that could have been added extra too, though. But it seems like beast and tree, very secondary to Stormhawk. So someone else owned this castle. But what the most important thing that we found in here was in this chest, in this beast and tree, I think. Yeah, you could see it has the beasts and it has the tree. So we're thinking golden lineage here. Erd tree plus the golden lineage of the beast Siraj. Inside was the Mimic's Veil. When we put it on, we see streams of golden light come down, and you get to turn into another object. So first, let's look at this. It kind of looks like it's made out of, I don't know, like there is in the DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, I think we find exactly what this is made from. But since we're not there yet, I can't really say. So I'll give you some hypotheses I had. Some theories, I guess, I had before I found the piece of evidence where I know this is from. I'll give you a hint, though. I forgot, we're a prophet class. We can look into the future. So at first I thought, is this dried leaves? Does this look like it was made from maybe the Erd tree? Could be made from the Erd tree. Is it dried leaves? But it kind of looks like skin. Kind of looks like dried skin. So I thought, is this snake skin? This is the Mimic's Veil, and snakes are one of nature's greatest mimics. Snakes will use mimicry to protect themselves. They will mimic another snake that appears venomous or threatening to ward off threats. So I thought maybe snake skin. And we haven't really seen much about snakes yet in Elden Ring, but, it being snakes, it might be interesting. The other thing that it could be, and I'll give you a hint. You might be able, if you play Shadow of the Erd Tree, you might be able to find this. It might be dragon skin. It might be the skin of a drake. Maybe a drake's wing. So there's your hint. Then it looks like it has like baby pearls around it. Could be pearls. Oh, what's really interesting? Oh gosh. Oh, we're gonna have to remember this. I just know the down on the bottom. There's like the pearls that are draping down that look like little teardrops. They look like little teardrops. Then in the center, what do we have here? That kind of looks like the not the Erd tree symbol. I guess kind of the Erd tree symbol. Do we have any spells that could show us that symbol? That's all two fingers. This is ancient Erd tree. It's kind of, we can kind of see it in the middle, but it kind of reminds me of like the Gold Road stuff. I don't think we have anything that could really show it off, but you can kind of see it. It kind of is giving that tree cross with the Elden Ring in the center, and then we kind of get like the leaf motif on it. So just very interesting. I think the most interesting thing about there is that, the Mimic's Veil, even though it has all this ornamentation on it, you might not need, do you need the pearls for it to work? Do you need the like gold around it? Or do you just need this like skin to be able to do the mimicry? And it's interesting that you place it on your head and then it comes down like that, like the gold comes down like that. So let's read what it says. So it is the Mimic's Veil. It uses FP to mimic nearby objects. When we think of mimicry, we have our larval tears. Where are they? Our larval tears, which is the core of a creature of mimicry known as a silver tear. So at the core of silver tears are larval tears, and they are creatures of mimicry. They're related to Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, and her amber egg, to birth people anew. People are getting born anew. They're getting born again through mimicry, which is the larval tear is the core of a silver tear, and that's a creature of mimicry. So this is a golden veil of intricate design that uses FP to mimic nearby objects. In Dark Souls 1, the chameleon spell was, I think, it originates from, I don't know if it says in Dark Souls 1. It says in Dark Souls 3. It originates from Ulasil, Land of Golden Sorceries. If you watched my Neverending Story videos, the Elden Ring's Neverending Story and the Remembering Elden Ring's Neverending Story, I make a few references to Ulasil in the videos, and it's because of this. They use golden magic One of those is the chameleon spell. In Dark Souls 3, I believe it says that Dusk of Ulusil from Dark Souls 1, invented the chameleon spell, which is essentially does the Mimic's Veil. There's a lot of great parallels that we can look at for Dark Souls 3, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting that Dusk of Ulusil invented the chameleon spell, which is an ancient golden spell that allows someone to change what they look like. Dusk. Some people call dusk twilight, like the twilight. Some people say it's the gloam of twilight. The gloam of twilight. So it's interesting that dusk, the gloam of twilight, Mimic's Veil. You know, get your head thinking of like what could that mean? Anyway, so we have the Mimic's Veil. It's a golden veil of intricate design. It uses FP to mimic nearby objects. When Godrick was hounded from Landel, so we know that Godrick was in Landel, the royal capital, but he was hounded from there. He had to leave. Kenneth Haidt tells us that he hid amongst the womenfolk. He hid amongst the womenfolk to escape the royal capital. This was one of the multitude of treasures he took with him, also known as Marika's Mischief. So when Godrick left Landel and hid amongst the womenfolk, he was hounded from there. Well, he's part of the golden lineage, but Godfrey is golden lineage. I think we would deduce Godfrey as golden lineage. He was banished as Elden Lord, so it makes sense to why Godrick would be having a tough time if his ancestor was banished. Godwyn the Golden was assassinated in the Night of the Black Knives. We learned that from the story trailer and from the... I don't know if it says assassinated, but in Night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. So Godwyn the Golden's dead. He seems like the next in line for the golden lineage under Godfrey. There's a power vacuum there. We learn about Radagon being the Elden Lord. So we could see why Godrick would be hounded from the royal capital. His kind of power is drawn from being part of the golden lineage. But, we learn from the sacred ornamental straight swords that after falling from grace, the dregs of the golden lineage saw power and purpose in the past. So, there's a power vacuum there. I think we have the grace-given Lord might be controlling Landel right now. So we could see why Godrick got hounded out. He's kind of like, we don't need this guy claiming heir to the throne, claiming the title of I should be Elden Lord, just because his ancestor Godfrey was Elden Lord. That guy was kicked out of the Lands Between. He became tarnished. They took his grace away. They said, get the hell out of here. What's interesting, though, what's most interesting? Okay, we have how did Godrick get out of there? This is actually going to come up later. How did he come across this treasure? How did Godrick get this treasure? This Mimic's Veil. This is very powerful. But what's most important is that the Mimic's Veil, mimics with an apostrophe, it's the ownership. This is the veil owned by a mimic, is also known as Marika's Mischief. So this item is telling us Marika is a mimic. This is her veil. This could be the Mimic's Mischief or Marika's Veil. It doesn't make a difference. It's the same thing. Why? What? Where was Marika hiding? How was she hiding? Was she hiding as objects? Was she hiding as people? What type of mischief did she get up to with the power of mimicry? And if she is a mimic, because she has the Mimic's Veil, does that mean at the core of Marika is a larval tear? Does that mean Marika is a silver tear? Creature of mimicry. Well, if Marika is a mimic, who is she mimicking? Is there two Marikas? Has she always been Marika and now she's... What happened to the original Marika? Is there two Marikas? Like, what does that mean? It adds a very interesting wrinkle. It adds a very interesting wrinkle. You know, we went through the Weeping Peninsula and we asked a lot of questions. A lot of interesting stuff there. We found at the Church of Pilgrimage a statue of Ratigan in the Starcaller pose. And he cried the same tears as Marika. Sacred tears. During the age of the Erd Tree, these tears were used to spread the faith, for theirs was once a certain blessing. Blessing of the Erd Tree, tears from the Erd Tree. We learned that those tears are considered dew and sap, but they're still tears. And Marika and Ratigan cry the same tears, and now we have the Mimic's Veil, Marika's mischief. You know, it makes you have to wonder, who's this Ratigan guy? Why does he have the same tears as Marika? Why would Marika banish Godfrey? And then why would this guy, Ratigan, become the king consort? He get an Elden Rune. Why does he have an Elden Rune? Was he before? You know, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. We're gonna have to keep our eyes out, keep our peepers peeled. You know, is this a mimic? No, it's not. I forgot to get an item last time I was playing, and it was an item that I've been playing. I just finished a replay of Dark Souls, and I started playing Bloodborne for some videos. So my buttons are all messed up, but I forgot to open this chest up. And I keep jumping because all the other games are X. Oh my god, I'm gonna pickle turtleneck meat. Yeah, I think we talked about the turtleneck meat enough already. So let's continue on. There's so much more for us to talk about. But the idea, I don't know. It's just like, you know, we picked Prophet as our class, so we can see a little bit into the future. And if you watch this channel, I think you kind of know what my opinions are on who the mimics might be. But the fact that Marika's mischief, or the Mimic's Veil, is also, oh geez, it's the Mimic's Veil is also known as Marika's mischief. I want to just call it Marika's mischief. You know, it says a lot. We have another grafted scion, dregs of the golden lineage. Really, it's just a child. This is a child who's, you can see, look, it's a very young face. Very young face on there. Mutilated and grafted with the body parts of adults, men, birds. You know, this is like, and this is room too. These limbs dangling from the ceiling, bodies in bags everywhere. I kind of want us to think about like the horror that's going on here. This is a grafted scion. This is ostensibly a child. One of their abilities is they scream. Is that a scream in agony, in pain? All these, like, this doesn't look pleasant. It looks painful. And that this child had their body mutilated so the golden lineage could have more power. Do you think this child wanted this done? Does he care to maintain his power in such a way? Like, what type of life can he live now? I don't know. So best we could do is just like put him out of his misery, or he's gonna put us out of our misery. Yeah, I think he's gonna put us out of our misery. Whew. Again, I'm rusty. Okay. Yeah. The peacock, the bird imagery, it kind of makes sense. It looks like they're trying to evoke the Stormhawks, perhaps. But the peacocks kind of show that, like, ostentatious nature of, like, you know, it seems like, oh my god, look at these bodies. It's really gross here. It's really tragic. You know, it kind of shows that ostentatious nature of like what the golden lineage kind of represents now, at least under Godrick. Kind of like just a show for power, and that's what the peacocks are. We got the exalted flesh. This is Badlands chieftains love this. We're going to talk about that stuff over here, but you know, this place that these commoners are also living in. Bodies strewn about on the ground, their limbs removed. You know, these are all supposed to be tarnished. They're supposed to, you know, they're a little bit larger than ours. They look cooked. There's burns on their bodies. It's really horrifying what's going on in this castle. This place is a nightmare, really. Bodies strewn, or limbs strewn up on hooks. These are all the mutilated corpses. And all of this is for, I guess, you know, Godrick's eventual return to power. Like this is all to amass some type of, you know, grafted force so he can go back to the capital and then become Elden Lord. I don't know. And this is what it's all for this guy right here. Godfrey. There's the beast Sirash on his back. There's an axe. It kind of has like, it's broken, maybe some tentacles. He's kind of golden. There's kind of a golden hue on him. His hair is white though. You can see Sirash very plainly here. He's got a crown on his head. And he's on Godfrey's shoulders. And he's also standing in the water. If we look at the Lord who led the long march bore an axe, and his loyal warriors honored him by wielding axes of their own, making them very effective in dealing decisive blows. And beneath, here, we get the highland axe. So let's equip our great axe and our highland axe. Great axe, highland axe. There's a little star. Actually, is there a star on the... We can see on the great axe, which also has the... Talks about the barbaric roar. This is the weapon choice for Badland chieftains. Let's see. It kind of looks Celtic. I was seeing if we had any stars on it, but here is the highland axe. Has a star kind of in the middle. Looks very similar to the great axe. And it reads, single-sided axe used by warriors of the Highlands. Brave combatants begin the battle by crying out their names. Roars are enhanced by this weapon. This one has barbaric roar. So we could tell Godfrey was the lord who led the long march. Maybe the chieftain of the Badlands, Horaloo. After he's banished, he becomes Horaloo. And he was a Highland warrior. I mean, it's clear as day. Clear as day. What's also interesting is that the axe talisman shows a Caden helmet. If you look at Caden helmet and we look at the axe talisman. See? And actually in the axe talisman, that's the Highland axe. And we see what looks like a Caden helmet. So the Cadens come from... they hail from the mountaintops. The mountaintops are high lands. So we have some evidence that Godfrey might be a Caden. Cadens might be Highland warriors. Maybe they're different tribes. Who knows? But there might be some relation between the two. They used curved swords, however. The Cadens don't use axes, even though they're on the axes. I think they roar, though. I think they do have roars. They do roar. But they use curved swords like the dismounter, which has spinning slash. And I think in a few episodes ago, which may have been months if you're watching the early access, we talked about the Shamshir having spinning slash, and how this was found in the Blackstone ruins with the Guardian Golem and the Blue Dancer charm. So there may be a connection between these, between the Highland warriors, the Caden warriors, the Blue Dancer, and this kind of like flowing water technique, the spinning slashes. So that's something we're gonna have to keep a look out for. But we could see why Godrick is kind of like trying to reclaim power in the past, because this is who he's trying to live up to. this hulking warrior with his giant axe and this lion on his back, and we see the banners over here. So far, I'm kind of seeing a few factions here. I'm seeing the Stormhawk faction. I'm seeing the Beast faction, represented by Sarash. Then I'm seeing the Golden Lineage as using the symbols of the Beast. You know, Godfrey, what are his symbols before the Beast region Sarash? You know, Sarash has his own crown, his own banners. Why is Godfrey's banners the Beast and the tree? Merrick is the tree, Sarash is the Beast. What's Godfrey's banners? You know, when we think about Mimic's Veil, is Godfrey mimicking something, you know, by putting the Beast on his back? Is he trying to do a show of power? All right, this looks like they're like letting the blood out of this troll of some sort and just dripping down on these bodies. And the dogs are just having a heyday. Beast blood, glinting with gold, never rots. Lump of flesh. Is that new? No, we have that. Just filled with rich juices. Yum. Golden rune, garbage, but this is the good stuff right here. Bam. Chrysalids memento. So a chrysalid, I think we talked about it before when we first met Roderika. Chrysalid, I think it's kind of like the word chrysalis. I don't know if chrysalid is actually a word, but it might be. Chrysalis is like the cocoon, like a caterpillar or you know, those type of insects before they turn into like a butterfly or a moth. They'll go into a chrysalid and then they will turn to a butterfly. We already have, we found smoldering butterflies, which are eternally burning, and we found one nascent butterfly at the very beginning of the game. Translucent wings. Butterfly appears if it's emerged from its cocoon its entire life. And if you look at the chrysalid memento, so this is a memento left by the chrysalids sacrificed for grafting. A brooch wrapped in red velvet. Traces of blood are visible. Faintly visible spirits try to convey something, but their voices cannot be heard, so that you can't hear the voices of the spirits. Well, at least we can. We could talk to spirits. We can summon spirits. This spirit looks fondly upon us. Her name's Aurelia. That's what Roderika told us, that spirits look kindly upon us. Roderika has a connection to the spirits, and she said, if you see the chrysalids. So she said, tell them I love them. Are the chrysalids her men, or are the chrysalids something that have always been? Are the chrysalids, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are obviously spirits. It says faintly visible spirits. To Roderika, she calls them chrysalids, as if they're going to bloom, as if they're going to turn into butterflies. Perhaps spirits turn into nascent butterflies. They're kind of translucent. Spirits are translucent. They kind of have a very similar color. You have this wispy, smoky kind of coloring around them. And I don't know if you could say the same about the nascent butterflies. Also kind of looks a little bit like stardust in there. But it's very interesting. This is also, it's a red brooch. It looks very similar to the red hood that she wears, that Roderika wears. The faintly visible spirits try to convey something, but the voices cannot be heard. So our character cannot hear spirits. We can't hear them, but we can talk to them and we could summon them. So we still have a connection to them, and they do look fondly upon us. But it's just very interesting that she calls them chrysalids. I'm not certain. You know, for a while I was thinking that when she says that line, she is specifically talking about her men. That her men are the chrysalids and they turned into spirits. But now when I think about it, perhaps those spirits have always been there. And she misses them because they were attached to the object. You know, the spirits are attached to this brooch, perhaps. You know, there is a memento left behind. Yeah, a memento left by the chrysalids sacrificed for grafting. Oh, so the chrysalids are sacrificed for grafting. Maybe it's her men. Maybe her men die, and then this is the spirit attached to maybe the blood, attached to the memento, I guess. The spirits are attached to a memory, to a memento. Chrysalids memento, chrysalids memory. Okay, that's very interesting. We'll have to think on that. But since we picked that up and we have somewhere we can fast travel to, let's go to Roderika and give that back to her.
A pleasure to see you. Did you give the little chrysalids the message that I love them and that despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll be joining their club soon enough?
I don't know why she thinks that. I wonder why she thinks that it's an honor to get grafted. You know, there is maybe some, I don't know, maybe some people think that's like a cool thing to do, get grafted by Godrick. You get to be part of the golden lineage now. But we could see on her brooch there is that same, like on her hood, that is the same kind of like brooch on there. So let's give her that memento.
What's this? A keepsake? From my men? Oh, goodness me. I can't...
Okay, so it is her men. I was right the first time. I mean, I think we can empathize with why she feels this way. They crossed the Sea of Fog with her, and they were cut up and mutilated. Their bodies, their heads put onto the spider. But she has this memento left behind, and, you know, she has some sort of connection to these spirits. We can't hear them, but what is she hearing? What is she feeling right now? These people who she, you know, loved, once thought gone forever, are with her again in this memento, in this memory. It's very powerful stuff.
They all believed in me. They all thought I'd make something of myself. Me, who can't do anything. I think I'll head to the round table hold. Perhaps I'll find my purpose there.
Okay. They all believed in me. So she gets the memento. She has the spirits. We can't hear the spirits, but she can. And when she gets that, she knows that they believed in her. So they were able to pass on this message to her. That she'll make something of herself. She thinks she can't do anything. But she'll find her purpose at the round table hold.
Head to the round table hold. Perhaps I'll find my purpose there.
Alright, I think you'll find your purpose there too. We can go to the round table hold, look for her, but I don't know if she spawns until after you kill Godrick. And I'm not ready to go back to the round table hold because this is a Stormveil Council episode. We have to wait. I wanted to wear the Banished Knight armor, but gosh, it's so freaking heavy. 7.1, isn't that crazy? Can I even wear the helmet? I can wear the helmet in mid-roll. Can I wear the helmet and the armor in mid-roll? No. Okay. Let's mix and match. I guess I could. What about the scale? That kind of looks good. I guess the knight gloves. How's that look? Kind of a little too ornate. I kind of like the Godrick gauntlets. And what about legs? Too floppy. Or Godrick Knight, can I do? Yeah, alright, we'll do that for now. Oh, of course we're gonna go down there. We have a libation pouring out. Pouring out onto a somber smithing stone. Now, you know, I think that's Marika. And a somber smithing stone, those are colorless. Is there some mimicry going on here? Oh, I didn't mean to hit that again. Yeah, but why is she, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking too much into this, but, you know what I mean, like, why is this drained of color? Do you have anything to do with that? If you remember, we killed a man who turned into a bear to get that larval tier. Use our imp statues. What's in here? Oh, this is... I know what's in here. Iron Wet Blade. Iron Wet Blade with a cipher engraved. Ciphers are secret messages. Our other cipher that we're talking about, we have the Cipher Pata. And before I continue reading up the Wet Blades, one of the weapons originating from the 2 fingers, a formal sequence of ciphers comprise its blade. So this is the 2 fingers. This is an inscription. This is their language of light. And this is the same language that you will find on the Wet Blades. So the language of light from the 2 fingers has been inscribed into this iron Wet Blade, and it can be used as a whetstone to, I think whetstones are used to sharpen swords. When applying an affinity using Ashes of War, an additional affinity of heavy, keen, or quality can be chosen. So because this cipher of light of the 2 fingers was engraved into this Wet Blade, when we are using Ashes of War, which are essentially ashes of memories, they're memories of battle, by using light and memories, we're able to change kind of the nature of a weapon. And if you watched at least Chapter 1 of Remembering Elden Ring's Never-Ending Story, you will understand how important that is, that these memories can be transferred onto weapons like that. Hawk Crest Wooden Shield. This is our second Crest Wooden Shield. A tall, medium-sized wooden shield, light for its size, easy handle, adorned with a long forgotten crest of Stormveil. Ancient in its design. Ancient, long forgotten. It's interesting that this is long forgotten. You know, the hawk imagery is everywhere. But the crest is forgotten. So this place has existed for a very long time, you know, longer than the Erd Tree, if this is forgotten, I would say. Or maybe maybe not longer than the Erd Tree. At least, you know, it could be before the Erd Tree. Could be before the Erd Tree. But it's important to make the distinction that we have, where is it? I'm looking for root resin. We have root resin, which the great tree was once linked to those of the Erd Tree. So we have 2 sets of trees. You know, we have the golden Erd Tree and the possibly not gold great tree. And how they used to be connected. So when we see some tree imagery, it might just be great tree imagery. But it's interesting that, you know, we are getting confirmation that the hawk is a faction, and it's an ancient faction. It's an old faction. And we're kind of seeing it put on par with the beast. So it could be, you know, the hawk and the beast could be 2 factions that, you know, may have been under maybe the same realm's reign, perhaps. But, you know, one of them survived. One of them cooped up with the Erd Tree, and they get to persist into the future, while the other one is long forgotten. I guess you could. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Why are the beasts on the side of the trees and not the birds? And I guess because, I don't know, birds live in the trees, and that was like a problem. I don't know. I guess, like, you know, beasts, like, you know, you think like dogs and it's a lion, but, you know, why didn't they side with the birds? We got what is it called? The Miséricorde? It's probably French. I said that wrong. Well, oh well. Dagger favored by military physicians in white. Well, the only person we've met in white so far is Vare. The pointed blade is hard and... why did I say it like that? Vare. Dagger favored by military physicians in white. The pointed blade is hard and sharp, making critical hits especially potent. Medicine is mercy, and mercy upon the battlefield is ruthless. Beware the killers clothed as men of compassion. You know, that's kind of telling you that Vare is not a good guy. He's not a good guy. He is pretending to be compassionate, but he is just a killer. Ruthless on the battlefield. His mercy, his medicine is mercy, where he just stabs people in the heart and kills them. Yeah. No wonder he's like, go kill Godrick. Guy is hungry for blood. He was also covered in blood. Coming out here, you know, this might seem like, oh, this is useless. Come out here, there's no item here. But it shows you can get down there. There's items down there. And a Ash of War or something. But we got our Wet Blade, and we got that shield. I wonder How long have we been going? We'll make this episode an hour. We'll see if we can, how far we can get. Godrick is going to be his own episode, so I don't think we'll get to him. Oh, gosh. Stormveil Castle might be, gosh, there's so much more in this place to talk about. More bodies in here. The beast banners. There's so many bodies here. They grafted a lot of people. I whiffed and he didn't even notice. Oh my goodness. I swear. I had to get footage for, I also want to replay them. Replaying. I did one playthrough of Dark Souls. I have to do another to get another cutscene. But that was really fun, replaying Dark Souls again. And then I started playing Bloodborne a bit, but I need to play kind of like, I think, all of them. Oh. Here's my welcoming party. Do I have... I missed. Missed again. Missed again. There's a lot of damage. I know I could just run in there, but I'm trying to be efficient, you know? Who's gonna blow the horn? He's gonna throw his fire bombs. I don't have to. I'm kind of like wasting my time. I could go. Oh, you know what? It's a homecoming for Oleg. Go get him, Tiger. Yeah, it's interesting that they set up this encampment inside of the castle. Oh, exile armor. I think we already have. We already read their items in there, but it appears that they were set up for someone to break into the castle. Now, obviously, this stuff has always been here. It's not new, to say the least. This is, when you play the game, this stuff will always be here. But it's kind of set up as if they were expecting someone to break through the castle. We got magic grease. Oh, we got a lot of stuff to look at. Oh no, Oleg's dead. Oh, I'm gonna die. I do enough damage. Okay. Smoldering butterflies, that makes sense. We'll get those items on the run back. These commoners, how could they have died? Maybe trying to escape? A lot of them. A pike. Okay. All right. Whew. We have so many options. God, Stormveil's huge. Okay, we're gonna hit. What's that over there? More items. Okay, I'm not gonna touch it yet. There's really so much stuff. I'm gonna hit this spot. What do we got here? One great shield on this guy over here. Okay, that placement doesn't really seem that. Oh my god, that painting. I'm going crazy. There's so much stuff. Okay, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you watched episode 31, you'll forgive me for how scatterbrained I feel in this episode. Because I did those episodes back to back, so my headspace is like kind of like okay, we're gonna go down this way. Let's look at what we got. Okay, so this is no different information. Damaged armor draped with large red cloth, worn by soldiers sent to penal colonies. Yeah, we already kind of talked about this. These are the losers, Sunrealm losers, sent to penal colonies. Their armor is getting marred by like the same curse that the castle has. It's a red cloak. Interesting that it's red. Do we have anything else of red? More hawk, beast, dragon. So this castle is definitely hawk and dragon, and then the beast is extra. I don't like how this looks. What else have we got? Picked up magic grease. I don't know if this is the first time getting magic grease. No, it's not. It's interesting there was magic grease here. Oh, Rajer's here. He is a mage. So is this supposed to indicate he was here, or could someone else brought it here? More Stormhawk feathers. I think on the arrows, we looked at the arrows crafting that like the storm actually lifts them. Like this, they like the Stormhawks have the power of the storm. Like they can make storm clouds, and so can people with Stormblade. The Banished Knights and the Exiled Soldiers also have storm spells, so very closely related to the Hawks and ostensibly the Dragons. What else do we got? A pike, long spear featuring specially lengthy handle. Specialized use to long distances. It boasts longest reach of any melee weapon. Incredibly useful against foes on horseback, but hard to wield in cramped spaces. Nothing interesting there. We want to wear... Let's put on this shield before we read it. This is the wooden great shield. Let's look at that. Yeah, so we're seeing in the center... It looks like a stone sword key. And then we have two beasts. We have two Sarashes. Back to back. So this is a... golden wooden great shield honoring the Lord of Beasts, Sarash. I don't know if we actually know he's the Lord of Beasts yet, but, you know, I know he is. Sarash. He is just aged counselor. Don't know he's actually the Lord of Beasts, but he wears a crown. So forget I said Lord of Beasts. Sorry. Does it say in this one? No, it doesn't. Okay. Forget I said that. I didn't say nothing. Wooden great shield reinforced with metal ornamentation. Great shields boast high damage, negation, and guard capacity. Okay. Now let's go down this way. I think I know how we're going to finish out this episode. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're back on track. Mimic commentary, back on the rails. You know, it kind of gets like... It's like Elden Ring is going to get to this point. I mean, we're kind of like seeing this with Stormveil Castle. Why are there rats in here? Because there's food in here, and they're eating the rotten food. There is... Oh, my goodness. There's so many factions to keep track of, and it's hard to talk about one without having to talk about everything else. At least for me, like that's how my mind works when I think about Elden Ring, just like how interconnected everything is. Okay, so we come into this kind of cellar where they're storing a lot of foods, but it's rotting. I guess they're not eating anymore. I guess you don't need to. Do they need to eat? I don't know. I wouldn't think too much into it. Is this our first pickled... we could craft these, I think. So whoever's down here... Sorry, I'm yawning. I gotta finish up this recording and get to bed. So whoever's down here, they cooked some fired pickled liver. It's spicy. But here's the interesting thing. Before the last locked door, that had the whetstone they were guarding. Now we have another locked door hidden behind rotten food. So we're in Stormveil Castle. Godrick fled to Stormveil Castle from Landau, so he's not originally from this place. One of the treasures he stole was the Mimic's Veil. Then in this here, past this storehouse of food that's rotting, we have the imps. I don't know if we talked about this, but we have the white smoke, the white shadows we can't get through. And when you use a stone sword key, the light goes out, and then the white shadows are gone. So we come down here, and we have two more chests. Now these are the very common chests that we see everywhere throughout Elden Ring, but it's important to note that these are golden lineage chests. So these are new-ish, like they have the banded spiral, they have the beasts, and they have the tree. So these chests were constructed during the golden lineage when Godfrey is Elden Lord. So we kind of have a time frame of when something was put into these chests. This one we have the God Slayer's Seal. And the God Skin Prayer Book. Oh boy. God Skin Prayer Book. Prayer book bound in supple skin. Incantations of the God-slaying black flame are written within. Can be given to a learned cleric to gain access to the following incantations. Black Flame Blade. Oh, I need 27 faith to use this. I think that's our next level up goal. Sacred Seal of the Godskin Apostles. Okay, so Apostles of the Godskin? Or what? Inlaid with obsidian. said to represent the manipulation of black flame. This catalyst enhances Godslayer incantations. So, one of the treasures, when Godrick was hounded from Leyndell, the royal capital, this was one of the multitude of treasures he took with him, also known as Marika's Mischief. Then we find 2 more chests after Marika's Mischief. Marika's Mischief, as we recall, the Mimic's Veil. Whoop, where is it? Looks like it might be made of some sort of skin, and it allows someone to mimic nearby objects to look like something else. And this is Marika's Mischief. Marika is pretending to be somebody else or something else. Then we find the God Skin prayer books. This is made from skin, and it's used to kill gods. I think this may be one of the sets of treasures that Godrick took with him from the capital. But how did he get a hold of these treasures? Why were they in the capital? How do these 3 things relate to Marika? What's interesting about the Godslayer seal is kind of its coloration as well. If we look at the other seals that we have, I think. Yeah, these silver 2 fingers. This is formless drake blood. And then we have the Godslayer seal. It's kind of white, kind of silvery. It's interesting that the spire, that you could see like the infinity sign in the band, and that obsidian too. It looks like, we'll see later. It kind of looks like it's kind of shaped kind of like an eye, with not the obsidian being like the pupil, but like the back end kind of looks like the what do you call it? Kind of looks like the back of the eye. I don't know. If I had a diagram, I could show you. It's a little late right now, so my brain is like turning off. For manipulation of black flame. So we're gonna want to give this prayer book of supple skin to our friend Corrin the cleric. And we will do that in the next episode. Did I come down this way already? Oh yeah, I remember I went all the way around and the door is locked. So what we're gonna do in the next episode is, I guess we're gonna go down here, we'll open the gate, we'll sit at the grace, and we'll do the round table hold for a bit, and then we'll journey up through here. It's looking like, let's see, that could be an episode. It's looking like Stormveil Castle might be 2 or 3 more episodes. 2 or 3 more episodes, including the Godrick episode. Then we have to do a lot. Oh my god, there's just so much to do. All right, we've been in a hiatus for a bit, but we're coming back. We still have more early access for Mimic Comment, for Remembering Neverending Story for part of early access. If you're watching this as this goes live, then you'll get the next Mimic Commentary in a few days from now. And maybe also I'm doing stuff on my other channel, and the new videos coming out. We're gonna be doing a review of 14 hockey romance novels on my second channel in the future when this is public. I don't know. I'm just bullshitting. Who knows? All right. I appreciate you all watching. I want to shout out to my members. And, yeah. All right. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.